So we're back to our Jeopardy benchmark review for quarter 3. Simplifying expressions for 200 says the Boys and Girls Club is collecting aluminum cans to raise money to buy new computers. They earned 50 cents per pound of cans collected. So 50 cents per pound. I'll use P for pound. But they have to pay $5 each month to have the cans delivered to the recycling center. So they're actually going to lose that money, minus the $5. In 6 months, they collected 1,000 pounds of aluminum cans. How much did they raise for the new computers? So we need to put the 6 months in right here because this was per month, 5 each month. So that means that needs to be multiplied there. We also need to take out our variable and replace it with 1,000 because we know that we've collected 1,000 pounds of cans. So this is my expression, and I go ahead and evaluate this. 0.5 times 1,000 is going to give me 500 there. Minus the 30 is 470. Alright, I did a good job on that one. Simplifying expressions for 400. What is 1/45 hundredths written as a mixed number in lowest terms? 1 and 45 hundredths is how it starts. We have common factor of 5. So 45 divided by 5 is 9. 100 divided by 5 is 20. So 1 and 9/20, not 19/20, 1 and 9/20 is our solution for this one. Oh, I got that one right too. In the expression 15 minus 10 divided by 2 times 4, which operation should be done first? We work from left to right. Division, 10 divided by 2 comes before the multiply on this one. Alright, simplifying expressions for 800. Yesterday's high temperature was 21 degrees. Yesterday's low temperature was -2. What is the difference? So 21 minus -2 will actually become 21 plus a positive 3. Excuse me, not 3, 2. And the solution there will be 23 degrees is the difference between the highs and the lows. Simplifying expressions for 1,000. Trout is on sale for $3.99 per pound. Mrs. Jones bought 3 1/4 pounds of trout. How much did she pay for the trout? So 3 1/4 times $3.99, and you multiply all of that out, and you get $12.97. You get 12.96, blah, 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 blah. You round it up to $12.97. Alright, solving equations for 200. Mr. Clark wants to rent the car. To find the cost, he uses the equation T equals 30D plus 10, where T represents the total amount in dollars charged in renting the car for however many days, D days. If Mr. Clark spent 100, how many days did he rent the car? So I'm going to take 100 and replace it for the T. So 100 is equal to 30D plus 10. Subtract 10. Subtract 10, 90 is equal to 30D. Divide both sides by 30, and we get 3 is equal to D. So Mr. Clark rented the car for 3 days. Solving equations for 400. Now, if you look in front of this 56 is positive, and to get rid of it, we're going to subtract a 56. Now, what we have remaining is negative y. And here we have negative 44. So we multiply both sides by a negative 1. And we get y is equal to 44 there. Solving equations for 600, we have what is the value of x if 4x plus 50 is equal to 10. So subtract 50 from both sides, and we get 4x, make sure you bring this is still here, is equal to negative 40. This is gone. So divide both sides by 4, and x is by itself, and negative 40 divided by 4 is negative 10. Solving equations for 800. This is not what I want. The cost of new carpet in Philip's living room depended on the area of the living room and the price of each square foot of carpet. Philip used this equation to determine whether he could afford the carpet he liked. If the total cost of the carpet was $945, what was the price of each square foot of carpet? So cost was $945. I'm going to replace that for C. So I'm going to have $945 is equal to 18 times 15 times P. Now, I'm going to go ahead and multiply 18 times 15. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 4 is 90. And this is 8, and that is 1, and this is 0, and that is 7, and I carry my 1, and that's 2. So I've got 945 is equal to 270p. Divide both sides by 270, and you will get, I'm running out of room here, 3.5 is equal to p, so that would mean that he paid $3.50 for each square foot of carpet. Solving equations for 1,000. Sixth grade class went on a trip to a museum. The teacher was admitted for free, but it cost $5 for each student to get into the museum and $200 to rent a bus for the trip. The total cost of the trip was $325. What equation could be used to find us the number of students who went on the trip? It's just asking for the equation. So it'll be 5 times number of students plus the $200 it cost to rent the bus, and total cost was $325. And there we go for that. Alright, so let's go ahead and go on to inequalities for 200. Sally is planning a graduation party for her son. The cost cannot exceed $500. Okay, so that means however much we spend over here, it's got to be less than $500, maybe equal to. Sally plans to spend $200 for food. There's 200 out of it. She wants to hire a band at the rate of 50 per hour. So 50 per hour. You add the cost of the band per hour plus 200 for food and the paper products. So here's your inequality that will tell you how to figure out how many hours she can have the band. If you went ahead and solved it, you would get this, but it's just asking for the inequality. So really didn't need to do that. Let me make sure. That's what I saw on a lot of your papers. So we got 50h is less than or equal to 300. Divide both sides by 50. Divide by 50. 30 divided by 5 is 6. Yes. So the band can only play for 6 hours. However, what we really and truly needed was this right here, what you did to get there. Inequalities for 400. Write a phrase to describe the number of chairs the store rents each day. So we got to solve it. Subtract 15 from both sides. 3x It's less than or equal to, all right, 10 minus 5 is 5, 3 minus 1 is 2, and that's 5, and divide by 3, and divide by 3, and x is equal, nope, not equal, 175. So you could say at most they rent 175, or they rent less than 175 chairs per day, something like that. Alright, inequalities for 6. Shannon wants to buy 3 pairs of shoes and a hat. If the hat costs $18, what equation should represent the equation in which x denotes the cost per pair of shoes and y denotes the total cost? So if y is the total cost, she bought 3 pairs of shoes, x is the cost of the shoes, and she bought $18 hat. There's the equation you would use for that particular situation. Inequalities for 800. The inequality 8y plus 600 is less than or equal to 2,200, the cost to repair John's roof. The cost of materials is 600 and it will take 8 hours of work. If y represents the labor cost per hour and John needs to keep the total 2,200 or less, what is the highest labor cost per hour that he can afford? All that to say, solve this inequality. So I'm going to subtract 600 from both sides, and I'm going to have 8y is less than or equal to 0, 0 minus 0 is 0, and 22 minus 6 is 16. Divide both sides by 8, and you're going to get, alright, so he needs to spend $200 or less per hour on labor. And our last one we're going to do for this video, inequalities for 1,000. Write a function to represent the statement, a number is 5 less than 6 times a number. So 5 less than, if you look at that pink foldable, translating words to math, 5 less than is this. Subtracting 5. 6 times another number. And to put it in function form, instead of having y equals, function notation says f of x. If you got this part right here, hopefully that would help you be able to get the right answer in a multiple choice situation. And that's all we're going to do for this segment of our Jeopardy!